Hello everybody, it's Non-C News here, and today we've got a lot of broken dates today. So the first news come today, and probably the biggest news come today, is that a bomb has just killed the head of Russia's nuclear defense forces and his assistant in Moscow. So probably the one of the biggest news come from Russia is that a senior Russian general was killed on Tuesday by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside of his apartment building in Moscow. This is just after a day after Ukraine's security service leveled criminal charges against him. So a Ukrainian official stated that the service carried out the attack. So the general, the chief of the military's nuclear and biological and chemical production forces, was killed as he left his office, and his assistant also died in the attack as well. So the perpetrator of this attack, which killed the general, was taken into custody, the FSB reported. We've also got news that the Russian Federal Security Service, the FSB, has published footage of the interrogation of the Uzbek citizen who killed the general. So this interview revealed the person who actually committed the crime, who bombed the general and killed his assistant as well. So he stated that I came to Moscow on a mission for the Ukrainian Special Services. I arrived, bought a scooter, and a few months later the materials for the bomb arrived. I took it, then we got everything ready and put it near the general's house. And then he came out of his house. I pressed the button. And why did I do this? For what reason? I was offered $100,000 and a European passport. So, it's safe to say that he probably wanted to be getting this European passport, but nevertheless he did it. So this is the man who killed the Russian general. He's a Uzbek citizen, and apparently he was hired by Ukraine's intelligence services. So this is very big news. So, Ukraine says it killed the senior Russian general in Moscow's scooter bombing. So, Ukraine has already admitted that it killed the Russian general. We've also got news that the deputy head of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, so the ex-president of Russia, set the task of destroying the military political leadership of Ukraine in connection with the murder of the general nuclear forces. So, Russia is probably going to be doing a huge mission in the next previous days. The Russia's deputy head of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry, stated that it will basically kill the Ukrainian officials that were that was involved in this attack. So Ukraine apparently killed a Russian general. So the Russians are probably going to kill a Ukrainian general. So that is probably how it's going to do. That's probably how it's going to go. The US has nothing to do with the terrorist attack in Moscow that killed the Russian general. This was stated by the State Department spokesman, Matthew Miller, at a briefing. So the US has completely stated that it had nothing to do with this attack, but they said that they would stand with Ukraine no matter what. The next news coming from Russia today is that Russia moves to remove the Taliban from its terror list. So Russia's parliament has just approved a bill allowing groups to be removed from its banned terrorist list, paving a way to the Taliban's delisting. While this does not formally recognize the Taliban's government, it does reflect Moscow's growing ties with Afghanistan since the group's 2021 takeover. So the bill is going to be it seems that it's going to be approved pretty soon, and this would be removing the Taliban off its terror list, and obviously Russia is keen to do some trade with Afghanistan and perhaps even more. The next news today is coming from the Baltic Sea. So we've got news that two Tu-22M3 long-range bombers performed scheduled flights over neutral waters of the Baltic Sea. So Russian Su-30SMs and Su-27 fighter jets escorted the long-range bombers. The flight duration exceeded 5 hours at certain stages on the route, the long-range bombers were escorted and intercepted by foreign fighter jets from foreign countries. So if you can see this video here in the bottom left corner, we can clearly see it seems to be, I think it's an F-16 or Eurofighters, clearly intercept the Russian Tu-22 M3 long-range bombers. So there's been a bit of a scandal in the Baltic Sea, where there was some tensions over the skies of the Baltic Sea. So very big news. The next news coming today is coming from the Black Sea. So we were talking about this topic a bit yesterday. So if you want to actually learn about this topic and actually learn about everything that happened yesterday, just watch my yesterday video. Hopefully I put it here in your bottom on your top right corner here. This will give you access to my yesterday video, which explained a lot about this situation which I'm about to talk about. So we've got a news that a Russian tanker carrying thousands of tons of oil products split in half, and one person died during heavy storms in the Cur Strait in the Black Sea yesterday. So we were talking about three actually oil tankers actually sunk due to high storms in the Cur Strait in the Black Sea that caused 3 Russian oil tankers to sink. And due to this, a lot of people warned that this could cause huge after effects, resulting in huge oil being released into the sea. So it seems it has happened. So if you can see here, the environmental situation in the Cur Strait has worsened due to the fuel oil spill by Russian tankers. So if you see this video, we can see all this black oil that has actually just rolled up into the Russian shore. So we can even see here where we can obviously see a bird covered in oil, and it seems it's unable to fly. So it seems that it has happened. Oil has spilt everywhere, and it's now causing devastation into the Black Sea. Now let's head to Ukraine. So we've gotten a lot of statements coming from Ukraine. So first, Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has called Hungary's proposal for a Christmas truce immoral and a manipulation. So the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry stated that we urge Hungary to stop these manipulations and refrain from one-sided contracts with the aggressor state that undermines efforts for a just peace, the Ukraine Foreign Ministry reported. We've also got news that Belgium will not have time to deliver the first batch of F-16s to Ukraine in 2024, the country's defense minister stated. So the delivery of the first batch of F-16, Belgium F-16s, is being delayed due to a lack of trained Ukrainian pilots and problems with spare parts, it is stated. Belgium also does not want to jeopardize its defense capabilities and wants to wait for the arrival of F-35 fighter jets, the delivery of which is also delayed. So Belgium will not be delivering its first batch to F-16s anytime soon, according to the Belgian defense minister. We've also got news that the United Kingdom is also allocating over $44 million to aid in Ukraine and imposing new sanctions on Russia. So the funds will be directed towards helping Ukraine restore its energy grid and providing humanitarian assistance to the population. This includes a project to generate an additional 20 megawatts of electricity, which will supply and power up about 20,000 homes. So the UK has also introduced new sanctions against 2 Russian energy companies and 20 oil tankers from its shadow fleet. So very interesting news. We've got more deliveries coming from other countries. So Germany is to supply Ukraine with 20 more Marder 1A3 infantry fighting vehicles. So the delivery is scheduled for the first half of 2025. The order is valued in a mid-double-digit million euros range and will be financed by Germany. So we can expect 20 German-made Marder 1A3 infantry fighting vehicles to arrive in 2025. It's actually weird saying 2025. We've also got news that Ukraine has apparently given us footage and proven facts of presence of North Korean soldiers. So in this video here, the Ukrainian sources are stating that in these videos we can allegedly see North Korean soldiers in emergency hospitals in the streets of Kursk. So apparently over 100 North Korean soldiers have been brought to this hospital. Allegedly, well, this is what the Ukrainian sources are stating. Zelensky also posted, I quote, proof of North Koreans. So we see these videos here. Apparently these here are North Koreans. This is according to Ukrainian sources. This is, I wouldn't say this is proof yet, but we'll just keep an eye on this situation as well. We've also got news that the European Union will provide Ukraine with 30 billion euros in aid in 2025, including 18 billion euros obtained as profits from frozen Russian assets, a senior EU representative stated. We've also got news that Ukraine has lost about 50% of its territory it controlled in the Cur region, the economics reports citing military sources. So Russia holds a significant advantage in manpower, artillery and vehicles, and this, as a result, Ukraine has lost 50% of its gains in the Kursk offensive into Russia, according to Clash reports. So obviously this map here, if you see on the main screen, this is not actually updated, but this is about as far as the Ukrainians got. And if you can see this image here in your bottom left corner, this is it now. So Ukraine has lost 50% of its offensive into Russia. We've also got news that, according to the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, if NATO membership depended on Poland, Ukraine would receive it within a day, said the Polish Prime Minister. We've also got news that the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has also announced a new military aid package for Ukraine worth 100 million euros set for January. This marks Poland's 46th aid package since the start of the full-scale war in Ukraine. We've also got news that the German Defense Minister stated that Germany is ready to send its peacekeepers to Ukraine if Russia agrees, and that's basically all the news I've gotten from Ukraine today. And if you didn't, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, we've also got news that the Bundestag has just voted a no confidence vote in Chancellor Olaf Scholz, paving the way for early parliamentary elections in Germany. We've got some news coming from the Italian Prime Minister Meloni. She stated that we are ready for dialogue with the new authorities in Syria. We've got news from Switzerland that Switzerland tightens up its gun exports rules after its ammo found in Ukraine. So the Swiss government has tightened regulations on arms exports after a Polish company resold 645,000 rounds of ammunition to Ukraine. This was Swiss-made ammunition. Therefore, Switzerland has tightened up its gun exports and rules after its ammo was found in Ukraine. We've got some news coming from the UK. That the United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer's approval rating 5 months into his prime ministership has reached 27%, the lowest figure compared to his predecessors over the past 40 years. This was according to IS polls, so very interesting news. We've also got news coming from Ireland that the Irish Prime Minister Mitchell D. Higgins condemns Israel's accusation of anti-Semitism against his people and a gross defamation. This comes as Israel closed its embassy in Ireland. So the Irish president has condemned Israel's actions and its accusations on the Irish government and people, because Israel stated that it closed its embassy due to extreme anti-Israel policies of the Irish government, stated the Israeli foreign minister. We've got some news coming from Turkiye that the Turkish President Erdogan received a visit from the European Commission President von der Leyen in Ankara, the capital of Turkey. So, the European Commission President von der Leyen met with the Turkish President Erdogan in Ankara to discuss Syria's future, recognizing Turkey's key role as a regional power, hosting millions of refugees and influencing rebels groups that ousted Assad. An EU official stated that this is a political message that we acknowledge Erdogan's influence in Syria, and we want him to see that we can play that role too. So this was stated by an official EU representative. So she also stated that we will start dialogue to ease sanctions in Syria. And if you remember in yesterday's video, the vice president of the European Commission, Kaja Kallas, stated that the EU will lift sanctions on Syria only if Russian bases are removed. The withdrawal of Russian bases must be a condition for EU dialogue with the new Syrian authorities. So this was stated by the Vice President of the European Union. So I don't know if this was miscommunication or something, but according to the Vice President of the European Commission, in order for sanctions to be eased on Syria, the Russian military bases, Russian equipment has to go. So very interesting news, and probably one of the most a bit concerning news come today is that Turkey is now massing troops on the Syrian border. An invasion is imminent, reports are stating. So the US officials warn that a cross-border operation is imminent as Turkey amasses its troops on its southern border. So we've got news that Turkey is now massing troops on the border with Syria. And before we actually get into Syria, we've got news that Turkey has secured a historic naval contract with Portugal. So the STM, Turkey's leading naval defense company, has won a contract to build 2 auxiliary oiler replenisher and logistic ships, the AOR Plus, for the Portuguese Navy, marking Turkey's first naval export to an EU and NATO member state. This project will see ships designated and built in designed and built in Turkey, with construction starting in 2025. The 137-meter long vessels with a displacement of 11,000 tons are designed for multi-role operations. So this is including replenishments at seas, transporting armored vehicles and joint amphibious missions, supporting humanitarian aid, search and rescue missions and medical missions, equipped and advanced systems like close-in weapon systems, UAV capabilities, and sensors for defense of air defense. So this is what will be included in these ships that Turkey will be building for the Portuguese Navy. Now let's finally head to Syria. So Russia continues its evacuation from Syria. So we've gotten footage and satellite images from the Russian military base in Tartus, the military port. So we've got news that in this satellite image, it shows that Russian military equipment concentrated at Russian base in Taros and other ports withdraw from multiple outposts across Syria. So we've just got news and military images now that the Russian vehicles, Russian military personnel, and Russian aviation is now withdrawing from Syria. So it seems at the end of the day, Syria might be getting some sanctions. Sanctions relief. Sorry. We've also got news that the first civilian plane has departed from Damascus International Airport to Aleppo after the fall of Assad. So the first civilian plane has departed from Damascus International Airport to Aleppo Airport here. So there you go. And the next news we have received is coming from Israel and Syria. So Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, actually visited the Israeli occupied Syrian zone in Mount Hermon. So that's about here. So Benjamin Netanyahu actually visited the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights zone, which they did their offensive in right now. He stated that we will remain in this important position until an alternative arrangement is ensured Israel's security. So it seems, according to the Prime Minister of Israel, Israel will not be leaving this territory that it has captured until another arrangement is issued that guarantees Israel's security. We've also got news that the Israeli army continues to go on the offensive into Syria with heavy equipment. According to this video here, you can see Israeli tanks continue to move forward in Syria. We've also got news that the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman stated that the new Syrian government will assume all of Syria's financial obligations to Iran. And we've got some statements coming from the new Syrian Prime Minister, Mohammed al-Bashir. He stated that the international community has betrayed the Syrian people and it's time for them to support our recovery. We demand that the international community lift sanctions and release frozen funds to help Syria recover. We call for the return of displaced Syrians and their involvement in rebuilding the new Syria, stated the new Syrian Prime Minister. Now let's go to Iran. We've got news that Iran is apparently facing a severe winter energy crisis. So this was stated by the Iranian president, who has ordered a widespread closure of schools, universities, and government offices. So we've got news that the Iranian president is now urging its civilian population to turn down and turn off electricity, and even turn down the heating by 2 degrees. We've also got news that Iran is now turning off highway lights to conserve energy amid a massive energy crisis. So very interesting news. We've got some news coming from China, so I just thought to add this in because we are non-seeing news. We've got news that ChatGPT has reported today that the Agros, a Chinese AI robotic company, has begun mass production of its robots and integrating them into many aspects of everyday life. There are already an entire warehouse in China for storing and adjusting humanoids, robots. So you can see here in bottom left corner, we can see all of these robots now doing activities that apparently everyday people will do. So it seems that big companies are now just testing these robots and improving them into I don't know what point, but there you go. We've got some news coming from the Philippines. We've got news that the Philippine Senate has ratified a new defense pact with Japan. So the Philippines has just ratified a new defense pact with Japan that allows each country's military to be deployed on each other's soil amid increased regional tensions with China. So the Philippine Senate has just announced that the ratification in a statement on Monday, saying that it would enhance the cooperation between the Japanese and Philippine forces. So the Philippines and Japan has just ratified a treaty which allows each other's military to go on each other's soil and protect the other nation amid regional tensions with obviously China. And the next news is coming from a country in Oceania, Vanuatu. So a massive earthquake has just struck Vanuatu. So this country here, so it's multiple islands, but we'll be going to its capital city. So a huge 7.3 magnitude earthquake has hit Vanuatu and caused widespread destruction in the Pacific island nation. So footage from social media reveals a significant damage to a building housing the US and UK and French embassies, with fears of further devastation. So a huge 7.3 magnitude earthquake has hit this nation. And we've already got news that Australia and New Zealand, close neighbours to Vanuatu, have pledged to help Vanuatu due to this huge 7.3 magnitude earthquake that caused widespread destruction. So, very interesting news. And the last news come today is coming from North America, where we've got news that SpaceX has launched military satellite. So we've got news that the Falkland 9 rocket lifted off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida on Monday night with the U.S. Space Force GPS-3 SV-10 navigational satellite. So SpaceX rocket lifted off on December the 16th at 7:52 p.m. Eastern from a Cape Canaveral Space Force station in Florida, sending a military global positioning system, a GPS satellite, to a medium orbit about 12,000 miles above the Earth. And we've got some more news coming from America that Donald Trump has stated that no one can answer why we subsidize Canada to tune of over $100 million a year. It makes no sense. Many Canadians want Canada to become the 51st state of America. This would save massively on taxes and military protection. I think this is a great idea. 51st state. So it seems that what's turned it into a joke first that Donald Trump made is now actually becoming an actual topic. But there you go. Donald Trump is now advocating for Canada to join the United States as its 51st state. And we've got news that Bitcoin has broke new historic high of $108,000. And the last news today is coming from Canada, with news that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is now considering resigning, according to CTV News. And that's all the news I actually have for you today. I am the Non-C News. I'll try and provide you news that the medias around the world do not show you. I do these videos hopefully daily, so consider subscribing and liking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.